Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on the next episode of Brockton County, an Ontario themed city. And make sure to hit that like button too. The like button helps with the channel a lot. Happy Wednesday. Sorry about that there wasn't a video yesterday or Monday. Originally this week we had planned to move Monday's video to Tuesday so that we could do the airport DLC, but my city is a modded city, and boy oh boy did the mods have problems yesterday with the new patch. So I spent so long trying to figure out what the darn issue was, and I finally figured it out about halfway through the day yesterday. I started fiddling around with the game around 7:30 in the morning. Figured it out at around 2. Had a dentist appointment at 3:30, so I had to stop. I couldn't get that video out. That's unfortunate, but you know, better late than never, right? As they say. So we're gonna be doing our airport DLC video today, a bit later than everyone else's. And you know, so you probably, if you're an avid City Skylines watcher, you've probably seen content come out the past week because some of the bigger City Skylines YouTubers got the content early, and that was really awesome. Got to see what was going on with that, and then everyone was bombarding your feed yesterday with the airport videos. I'm sure it is the same thing today, but as it is with new DLCs, it's the new content, so we got to do it. We're going to take a look at redoing our airport. We did an airport in this city. I have removed it completely to save time. It was awesome. It was William Shatner International Airport, and we also had a domestic terminal, the Keanu Reeves Domestic Airport. Those names will be staying, but we're going to be basically redoing our airport. Say the federal government and the provincial government decided they were going to put some money in the infrastructure of Brockton County because holy cow, the city's massive now. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be starting it off, and then in today and then Friday's episode we're going to be leveling it up and whatnot. And then Monday we're going to be having our new series preview, followed by episodes throughout the week as well. So we'll be kind of rotating cities, so we'll come back to the airport in some time after this week, but enough talking. Let's hop out of it. So here is where we had our airport. It is now a blank space. The one great thing about having an airport already in a city, and then this comes out, is you have it already ready to go. We have, let's just take a quick review of things that's going on through here. We have some pretty strong infrastructure coming through here. It's a bit weaker on this side. We really fixed it up on this side coming through. I just did some modifications to the train line. So we'll be definitely looking at changing up this trumpet and this roundabout in the future. Not today. Maybe Friday, probably not. But we also have a monorail coming through here. We have all of our inner city buses coming through here. So we already have potential monorail connections to get into the town. We have a road network, we have secondary road networks, we have a train line, and then we also have some metro lines coming in. You see this metro line here, and this metro line comes in right through here. So we have lots of infrastructure already in place, so all we really need to do is build the airport. We also have the Ryan Reynolds Freight Airport over here. I didn't want to delete it because I know that you don't get freight airports until level 3. And this is such a crucial part to some of the stuff we have going on over here that I didn't want to mess with it just yet, but we are definitely going to mess with it. Just not yet. All right, so that's what the plan is today, airport DLC, but the airport DLC wasn't the only thing that came out. There's a bunch of other stuff that came out. There was a patch. There was 2 content creator packs. So the first content creator pack is a map pack. That map pack, we are going to be using one of them. I'm still debating between 2 of them for our new city. And then we also had a Vehicles of the World content creator pack. So if we go to a fire station, there's one over here. You get to now choose between a couple different fire engines. So here's a large fire engine. I don't know if any of them are going to come out, but we'll sit here and watch. Until one does, as we keep talking. They also updated the Chirpy, so this is probably the most important thing in the entire game. You can now have pilot hat on your Chirpy. amazing. You can also, was that sarcastic? Absolutely not. I genuinely think it's hilarious. You can also put some headphones on the guy too. So awesome. What else is new? Well, there are some, keep your eyes on this. There are some new roads you can do. So just zooming out a little bit. So if you go to your tree line road, which is not new, it's something that's very common. It's been in the game for a long time. Let's just upgrade this section right here. Just gonna keep that fire hall in view. I'm trying. Okay. You can now take a tree and change the type of tree that you want it to be. So let's just say we want it to be this tree. You can upgrade it, and it also will resize it too to what you need it to be. So now you have a really nice canopy over this road with this tree, for example. Very nice. So that's a really cool handy dandy touch. Still nothing, eh? Oh, we do have one truck coming out. Oh, that wasn't it. Where is it? It is nowhere to be found, apparently. That's okay. You know what we could do is pause the game, go to where the fires are. Where is this fire? Here it is, the Elk Residence. Okay. Alrighty, let's wait and see. Okay, so this guy has a little teeny fire truck. That's amazing. So if we follow this all the way back, let's throw it in a 3-speed. Find out the fire station. I guess we could just go over here. And we could also change this one up to the large fire truck. So this was the original one, fire truck. We just saw the mini fire truck, and now we can go to the large fire truck too. So I don't know if we're gonna see one. It's a bit random, right? That's the point, I guess. That's the mini fire truck. Yeah, that's okay. All right. You can upgrade your cars, your vehicles. You can also do this on police stations, which is awesome. So you can get the mobile command center, the police supercar, but you've probably seen all this and I'm wasting your time. You can also buy soil now if you play without the extra landscaping tool, which I have on right now. It was one of the issues yesterday, but it is fine now. So you can buy soil if you play vanilla, which was a big pain. I used to have to like build mountains in the corners of the map. That was interesting times. There's new radio stations too. I think they're pretty glitched out right now, and you won't be able to hear them anyways. So yeah, I don't think they're appearing on my end right now, but I haven't really looked into fixing that. Yeah, okay, well, we'll leave it at that. All right, so let's head down our expressway and let's go back to the airport. So we're gonna go down the expressway, get off the express, stick in the right lane, head onto the highway, stay straight through the windmill interchange, get off on the right-hand side, turn up here, and bada bing, bada boom, we are perfectly on this 3-lane avenue going into the airport. Now, how does this airport's DLC work? Well, I've only seen videos of it because some people got some early content creator packs, but pretty much what you need to do is you need to, early access to the DLC. It's actually pretty late at night for me, as I'm recording this on Tuesday night. Anyway, so you need to paint in a district for your airport. Now, it's going to flatten the land. If you look at the highway here, you can see how it's kind of leveling it out. So it'll do it for you. I don't know if it's going to cost soil or anything, or money. Oh yeah, it is. Right where it says landscaping cost, 4,035. So I guess it does cost money to zone an airport. We're just going to include this in it right now. We're gonna make sure we avoid that other district we have in place there, because that is ore industry for those buildings. Okay, we're gonna include all of this. We're gonna make sure we avoid that because that's another type of industry. And we're going to get all of that in the airport because that will be a part of our airport eventually. I guess we can get that in place. Whoops. There we go. And I got an achievement. I don't know if you can see those, but I got an achievement for placing this down. Awesome, okay. So that's pretty much the extent of what the airport's gonna be. Not gonna play around with it too much more. Also have our radio tower over here, which is probably not the best place for a radio tower. But, you know, it's fine for now. Okay, so we just leveled it all out. That is fantastic. It even leveled it out over here where we didn't necessarily want it to be, but I guess that's a trick. Don't put the district on roadways that you have sunken, because that'll happen. So there you go, we're learning. Okay, so now we're gonna go into our tab here, which is transport. We're gonna find a new button over here, airport area. Now, it is my understanding that we get to choose between 3 different types of airports. You can choose the classic airport terminal. This is just a basic airport terminal. You can choose a 2-story airport terminal, classic style. Choose a modern airport. That's a rather cool looking airport. You can also choose the 2-story modern looking airport. And then there's the ultra modern terminal and the ultra modern 2-story terminal. Now, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this pretty long and hard. I think we're gonna go for the ultra modern 2-story terminal. Now, I know that's probably the one you might have been seeing the most over the last little while, but if you're thinking about it, this city, it's a newer city. It's going to invest in some modern architecture. This is going to be a major feature of the city. It would probably look something like this. I was thinking about this one, but I just think the ultra modern one is probably the most realistic for the style of building we're going for. If we're going for one like true to the theme, it would definitely be this one. It's a bit more concrete based, a bit more cheaply made, I guess. It's also costs a lot less, but we are in a massive city. I think we can go for the ultra modern, and we're gonna go for the ultra modern 2-story one. Here's what it looks like. Pretty darn cool, if you do say so myself. Okay, so we need to kind of plan this out a little bit, right? So we got to plan out where we want this, how are the roads going to work, and where do we want the runways. Well, let's just back up really quickly and let's pull out a dirt road. It's always really important to plan things out with dirt roads. Why dirt roads? Well, they are cheap. They cost basically nothing, so you can kind of plan it out. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have this come right through about here, and then what you want to do is have it split. So we're going to have it split. We might actually split it a bit earlier than that, but we're going to pretty much do that. You want to kind of make a loop. So we're going to have the loop run this way, and then it's going to come back pretty sharply back into play here. Something like that. This is just a basic airport design. So the idea is you're dropping someone off at the airport. You drop them off in here. Here are the runways. Runways right now are running this way from the lake. I think we're gonna have a runway about here too. It's probably a good idea. So we have a runway over on this side. That's pretty cool. And then we could have a runway going from about here, let's say. A bit closer actually to this. So if we just use this as a bit of a marker, we'll have a second runway running parallel to this. And we'll have it do something like that, probably. Probably gonna have to sync this road. Yeah, that's good. So now if we're looking at the flight paths, this is a clear flight path. This is very important if you're trying to build a themed city. Yeah, same over here. So a plane would probably tack this way and then curve in. I've played Flight Simulator. I know some things. And then over here is totally fine, totally in the clear, and then coming from the lake as well. Totally clear, except for this radio tower, which is pretty funny. Okay, so we have those runways kind of designed out. That works with me. Now we need to figure out how this is going to really work on the loop aspect. So if you're if you think about it, you may have been to an airport before. I'm assuming that a majority of people probably have been to an airport before, or at least have seen an airport in movies. You are getting dropped off by your Uber, your taxi. What you do is they come, they drop you off right here, then they leave the same direction. But there's airport hotels, there's airport services, there's tons of parking lots. So that is something that we're going to need to look at as well. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to have a parking lot about over here. We're going to fill up this lot right here with parking. Actually, maybe not over this side because we have the train coming in over here. So I think the parking, well, we do have some long-term parking over here. I think what we'll do is we'll have something come out of this loop around here. And what we're going to do is this is going to be like the airport. It's not necessarily going to stay like this. You're going to have the hotels through here. You're going to have some services. You're going to have some parking lots. This is just to kind of get a rough idea, right? So the idea is we're going to have hotels over here. They need to be far enough away from the actual planes so they're not going to interfere. We need some services as well. That can be out over here. So we're connecting it up as well to our bus service. Our garbage services, our fire. So this will be like the main area. We have parking in here, parking along the side. We'll bring in a monorail into the fold. Train station as well. We're not going to do that until we level it up, and then we have subway connections as well. So let us now delete this now that we've kind of seen what we want to do. Why are we deleting it when we just placed it? Well, it was just to kind of get an idea of the size and space that we have available to us. I think what we're going to do, game's lagging out a little bit right now. That's okay. We're going to leave this part right here. Let's go back to our airports tab and let us try and line it up evenly with this airport here. So we're going to just draw a straight line off of this at a 90-degree angle. And how is that? I think that's probably gonna be fine. Now the thing about this game is you can always delete stuff, right? No big deal. Okay, so I was hoping this would snap a bit better. There we go. And are we in the middle? Close enough. All right. So we have, oh, there we go. So now that we placed that, we've unlocked some small hangars, a modern airport control tower, the budget airport hotel, some planes, some control towers. Cool. I like that you can place the other ones on there as well. That's really good because I really like, I think we might roll with some of the other classic things that I don't think we're gonna stick with the ultra modern the entire way. If you've followed the channel a lot in the past, you know that I really enjoy mixing assets. Okay, so now that we have that in place, we know that that terminal is, or I guess the concourse here, is exactly in line with this runway. We can now properly estimate how we're going to arrive into here. All right, so we're gonna pick this. There we go. Let's actually go to the tree-lined one. We're gonna upgrade that bit right there. Let's turn Anarchy on. Nice, so we did lose the line markings in there. I hope this doesn't glitch out the game. There we go, okay. We have our line markings again. Oh, that was incorrect. Okay, I screwed that up, whoopsies. We'll just have to delete this whole thing and do it from scratch, and that's totally fine. Are we gonna do it today though? I guess so. So let's do that, there we go. This is gonna go there. This is going here. I don't think we're gonna do nothing like anything special with this, just to get the vibe going. Okay, and there we go. And then we're going to put a bit of a barrier in this. There we go, nothing special. Just so that we can see how it's working. So this is the highway that it's connecting to. There'll be signs probably saying stick right to go towards the roundabout, stick on the left side if you're going towards the city. So if we're looking at this, the reason why we have such a strong 2-lane trumpet is because most people are going to be coming from the city, just over here along the 401 here. And there you go. So my idea here for this is that we have 3 lanes coming in here. We're going to give people an opportunity to get into the correct lane. Then we're going to be splitting things off. So if we look into this, there are 2 lanes and then 2 lanes. This is departures, this is arrivals. Most people coming into the airport will be wanting to leave, I'm assuming. So we're going to put an emphasis on getting people from the right lane into the departures, and then the middle lane into the arrivals, and the left lane is going to turn into this little town, airport town that we're gonna have planned. I was doing air quotes with my hands, assuming that you would see it. Of course you didn't see it, Stephen. Gosh. Okay. Now we're gonna go straight a little bit farther. What we could do is we could actually no, let's just go straight a bit farther. That's probably fine. So we're doing the tree line road mainly because I want to have nice trees along the avenue here. And then let's put some sugar maples along the end of this. Look at that. Very nice. Very Canadian. Huh? Sugar maples, right? Okay, so, whoa, where are we? Right about here, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have an asymmetrical road coming off of here. We're going to go straight in the exact same direction. 90-degree angle connection, just like that. And we're going to have an asymmetrical one because I like the idea of people being able to turn around. Because I know some people who might want to be leaving, going to the departures, and then thinking, oh, that's arrivals. And then they're like, oh, I'm in the wrong section. And then they have to drive all the way around. No one in particular. I'm just teasing. Okay, anyways, so we have a dedicated left off, and then we're going to have signs that say straight towards the airport. We're going to stick with a road without trees now because we want to limit distractions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into proper curve. Actually, yeah. We're going to curve it slightly. Maybe not. Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll bring it out a bit farther like that. And then, I guess we could go grass. Doesn't need to be ugly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to split this with a highway off-ramp. So why a highway off-ramp? Well, I think these act a bit better for the situation we're in. Just gonna extend this out a bit farther. So the highway off-ramp has barriers, right? And I like the idea of having kind of that look. So then we're going to go here, we're gonna go elevated. There we go. Okay, now we're just gonna use move it. And we're going to, whoops, stretch this one out. So I'm gonna hold this node, we're gonna hold Alt. And I'm gonna stretch this out to about here. There we go. And we're gonna stretch this one out. Okay, so I made a crucial mistake here. Can you tell what it is? I can't believe I did this, to be honest with you. Okay, so I was silly and totally forgot that we don't necessarily need 3 lanes this entire way. So majority of the traffic coming out this way is going to be coming from over here. So we shouldn't necessarily have a 2-lane road over here, we should be having a stronger connection road. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this to a 3-lane, and we're going to have 2 lanes coming off into here. Totally fine. And what's going to happen is people can then choose their lane from there. We might also sneak another road, right over here eventually, which might also help with that. So I know the lane maths aren't perfect at the moment. There we go. So another crucial thing that I messed up is there shouldn't be any traffic going that way, or this way, sorry. This way. So we're gonna turn this into a 1-way with trees. I think that with trees is gonna be fine. No, it won't. 1-way with grass, there we go. I would like it if it was a bigger road, to be honest, but we don't really have an option for that at the moment. The only options we have, I guess, would be the highways for like a larger road. So what we could do is we could with shoulder, that could be interesting, but it is 3 lanes though. No, that doesn't work in this case. Okay, so we're gonna need the node controller if we want to go with a highway. Probably want to go with the highway with the barrier though. And we're gonna use the node controller here. And what we want to do is now this is really crucial if you ever use the node controller. You say these words when you want to move the corners of roads. I want this corner to move to this corner. And there you go. So you click the corner that you want to move in line with, like the one that's shorter, you want to move it into one that's larger. There you go. Look at that. That's pretty good if I do say so myself. We're gonna then go into the node controller here. We're gonna level this out a little bit better. We're gonna stretch this out quite a bit more. Back this one up a touch as well. Okay, there we go. So now we can come over into here with the node controller and square the node. Back this up. Widen that out. And there we go. We have a nice clean connection all the way starting back to when we access this area. All right, I know which direction I want to go because there's signs. If I want to go into the town, I stay in the left lane. If I want to go to arrivals, middle, and then departures on the right. Look at that. That is very smooth if I do say so myself. Alrighty, so let us just adjust some things ever so slightly. This is a little steep. I think we're gonna want to rise this up more. Yeah, it's okay. I think the node controller is gonna be needed here. So what we'll do is we will slope the node. That didn't really do it. I think there's some issues with the node controller at the moment, but there we go. So we rise up into here and you are at arrivals or departure, sorry, and then vice versa. So we're going to mimic the other, this on the other side, and we're going to swing it around back down into here. So let us do that relatively quickly because we are running out of time. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to talk a bit less during this one. I think I want them to merge a bit farther down. So let's start up at the bottom side here. We're going to have a nice, let's bring it out 20 units. And then we'll bring it down 20 units. 21, okay, that's fine. Do the same thing, elevated. Bring it out 20 units. I guess it should probably be a bit bigger, shouldn't it? Let's turn node snapping off. There we go. And then it'll meet up in a road. So it's going to be the highway. right about here. Let's use some dirt roads as projections. Okay, there we go. I'd really like it if this would end like that. So let us now upgrade the highway here. Okay, and then we're going to turn this into a 3-lane. Not a highway though, necessarily. 3-lane, one-way, no parking. It's not exactly the smoothest thing in the world. So perhaps what we do then is on this side, since people are leaving, I guess it's less distracting, so we can put these into trees. And still then though, we get that funkiness, which is totally fine. I mean, that's a fix with the node controller. Just like that, really. Then you can come into traffic manager, go to this, and just remove the crosswalks. And then if you really want to get detailed here, you can just do something like this. Alrighty, and then we just need to connect these up. So we're gonna use the picker mod. I know this one was one that was broken. I was a little bit worried once I started clicking it. If it was gonna be in fact broken. Okay, and we're gonna connect up like that. Okay, and then no controller one more time. So this has been a touch slower than I was kind of anticipating it would be, but let's make sure we have enough space here. But I think it was a crucial idea to kind of talk through the thought process behind starting out our airport and what it means for the city. And like in general, as like a themed city that we were building, it's important to just, like in my mind, how I play City Skylines, and the great thing about City Skylines is you can play it any way you want. I like making like a theme city, so I like ensuring that there's always a theme involved in my city. So having this ultra modern terminal, I think is thematic to what would happen if nowadays the city in Ontario that we have this airport themed in would build. Okay, so we have that in place. The crucial part is done. We have some trees. We have a road connection. This is sure is an interesting layout so far at the moment. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to start just filling this out really quickly, and we can always come back and upgrade. So what we're going to do is we're going to run just a basic road down here, and we're going to run a basic road down here. That's fine. And then in between here, we are going to have quite possibly the best road in the entire game. This one from mass transit, large avenue with grass. Just love the look of it. We'll come back and do lane maths another time. We just don't have time at the moment. Okay, so that works. That centers everything off. We can probably have another cut through right here. We'll have parking lots right through the middle, probably a pedestrian connection. But let's actually look at building the darn airport, am I right? So, the modern airport concourse is not the one we were using. I was wondering how these actually connect up. Yeah, they connect up with little wings. Okay, so concrete little wings. So that is interesting. We could have like different, like the domestic and the international could be different themes. Okay, so the William Shatner International Airport. I don't know if that's how you spell it. Uh-oh. You can let me know it in the comments. I'll fix it after. It sounds like it is. The William Shatner International Airport in Lake Airfield. This is not it. This is the William Shatner International Airport. Now, I don't know how airport codes work, Please let me know down in the comments, but I know Toronto is like, or Ottawa is like YOW or something like that. So I think we need to do something like YOB for Brockton. Yob. So the Yob, that's the airport code, I guess. Sounds good with me. Okay, so we have everything in place, kind of ready to go. We have a nice possible metro connection, or monorail connection, flowing right up into here. We could actually attach that like right there, right at the front, and swing it around. We could run it right through the middle too and connect up with a hotel. That could be good. All right, so let us continue with the actual airport build though. So here it is, the ultra modern large terminal. Okay, so we might have to do a bit of a revision. Uh-oh. That's okay. Whoops. So the international, for thinking about the city, I guess, planes would be coming down from over here, I would think. And then they'd be probably tacking, and then swinging into here, or coming by via the lake and coming this way. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what side to put the international terminal on. I think we're going to put the international terminal this way. Now you can also curve it. I think what we'll do is we'll take it out 10 units. And then what we'll do is we'll curve it. So we'll take it out another 10. I kind of like when airports have a curve on the terminal because you can kind of like sit at a window and look back. Yeah, let's go 10 and then 15. Yeah, so if like you're sitting over here, kind of like that you can see everything still. Okay, and then we're gonna have, you know, we might actually be able to leave this here. Probably not. Probably gonna have most of the taxiways coming over this way. We could probably get a secondary airport line over here though eventually, but this probably won't stay. This was just a marker for us. I mean, most cities can get away with 2 runways, and I think we can have a secondary runway over here for smaller craft. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so then we're gonna have our domestic terminal on this side then. So we're gonna go out over into here, and then what we'll do is we'll grab the ultra modern and we're gonna bring it out another 10 units, and then we're gonna swing off into this size, and whoops, ultra modern, or not ultra modern, sorry, just modern, on a 145. Should be this way. $30 units, 145 degrees. Yeah, I don't mind the mixing, to be honest. Seems like maybe it's like a bit of work in progress. I think if we can hide this with, say, like a tree or two, that might be nice. Not right now, though. Okay. All right, so then we got our air traffic control tower. Now, it is my understanding that air traffic control towers are not off the concourse, like looks like they're supposed to be. They are, in fact, closer to the middle, somewhere over here, I would presume, or off the taxiway down here. So, not exactly sure how these are supposed to attach necessarily. Because it sure does make it interesting. Because we also unlocked this one. I think this one's a pretty cool looking air traffic control tower. I guess if it's over on this side, it can still view all the air traffic pretty well. So I think we'll leave it on this side for now. And again, we're kind of mixing up the assets as well, which is nice. Alrighty. And now we got these small hangars. Now these hangars would go off of taxiways. Did we unlock the taxiways? We did. Oh, okay. So I guess now it's probably a good idea to place the runways. We're running out of time, folks. Alrighty, well, looks like probably should have figured this part out first, shouldn't have I? Distance too short, okay. There we go. I back it up all the way. Oh, interesting, okay. Sorry, this is kind of like a learn to play, I guess. Now, I believe I can still flip it around. So no harm done if I decide. Okay, come on. From here to about here. There we go. And then I guess it would be coming this way then too. So the aircraft would be landing this way. Can they cross over each other? I think that is the big question. With Anarchy, it looks like they can. Hey, look at that. Okay, so it does kind of cross paths a little bit, but I think that's okay still. Did we just give ourselves way too much space? We may have. We may have indeed. All right. Well, we got the first parts in place. That is good to see. Small aircraft stand. Okay, so these attached to the concourse, I guess. And then we have the hangars as well, which doesn't look like they should attach to this though. But where else? Off the taxiways, I said, didn't I? Okay, so the taxiways, I guess we need to figure out where the planes are going first though. So we have these small parked planes. Okay, so they're decorative. We also have a bus terminal. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness indeed. Holy moly. I did not plan this out right. If we're going to try and do this kind of right, I guess what we're going to need to do then is have buses come through here, and we'll have them swing out like that. Or we can have them all line up through the middle here, come across. No, it's too much. So we'll have this attach right through the middle of that part right there. We have that, and we can run a bus line or a bus road, I guess. We'll just make it a basic road for now. Right off into here. Yes, we're definitely going to rework this. Holy moly. Holy moly indeed. Bit overwhelming. Bit of an overwhelming day, to be honest with you. We also have the budget hotel to throw in as well. So this hotel I was hoping to put in over here. Looks like we left ourselves an adequate amount of space for a couple parking lots to fill in. The budget hotel I was hoping for over on this side because it seems like it's a bit more less high value real estate in the airport. And we also have the hangars left and the taxiways. Okay, so let's figure out the taxiways and the small aircraft stand. So I guess we're gonna really be changing things up quite a bit, it seems. So then we want one right at the end as well. And then one right in the middle between the two. So we have 3 domestic terminals. And I guess what we need to do is bring the international terminal a bit farther out then. Okay, and then this way we can get the air traffic control tower in a bit more of an appropriate position as well, which is good to see. So here we go. Definitely running out of time now. Okay, and then we have these small parked planes that are just decoration. It's a bit interesting. But I guess it makes sense. Okay, this is just temporary. We'll fix them all later. Okay, well, let's get those taxiways in, and then we'll call it a day. And we're definitely going to be revising this as it goes. I think this is. Oh wait, I didn't get these stands in actually. Okay, so if we have one over here, that parked plane is sure taking up prime real estate. So we'll take the parked plane out. There we go. And the taxiway. Okay, so pretty much what we need to do is have... Oh, geez. This is interesting. So this is where it needs to connect to. So I'll bring that in like that. And then this is where it lands, eh? Seems like we chose poorly. So then if we scooch this down a bit, scooch this up. So this is for arrivals. Okay, so it looks like what we're going to need to do is bring this out a bit farther and have this as kind of the main loop for this. And we have planes coming out from here, connecting in, and we're going to flip this around. There we go. Okay. And now we need you know what? I genuinely don't know. So we could just run these 3 off of this. And then these 3 off of this line. That could be a way that we do this. Definitely going to need to take a bit of a closer look at how airport taxiways function. Because the way we have it set up right now is definitely not ideal. And then what we can do is run this to connect here. That doesn't work necessarily. So we'll have this flow right into there. I don't think this is how they normally look. Taxiways. I'm just trying to think of how to get them so that they can flow properly into each other. We'll figure it out. I mean, it's no big deal at the moment. As long as it works, right? For the moment. We're gonna definitely pave this all in. Let's go with that. I'll definitely hide some of the funkiness of the taxiways too. Well, you know, William Shatner International Airport is funky. It lives up to its namesake, I guess. And we're gonna run this all the way down. And yeah, I mean, this is the start, I guess, right? We have everything that we can place in. I'm not sure. We didn't really look up how to level up the airport yet, but I guess we'll do that tomorrow, in tomorrow's episode, or Friday's episode. Get some hotel discounts in there, some car rentals, some great maintenance. Yeah, I think this is good for now. And we'll come back tomorrow, Friday's episode, and what we'll do is we'll look at getting some better connections in, and we'll start detailing this up. And I'll probably be changing up the taxiway a little bit because, yeah, I mean, let's follow this plane. I mean, that one seems to be knowing what to do, so it looks like it's at least working, which is good to see. And I guess what we can do in the meantime is just follow this plane, and we'll sign off from here. Well, have a great day, folks. Sorry about the videos earlier this week, and I'll talk to you on Friday. Have a good one. Enjoy the airport DLC, and hopefully you know taxiways better than I do. Peace out.